Hello and welcome. This month's soap challenge club was making transparent soap, transparent melt and pour soap from scratch. It was taught by Aruna from Suffuse Soap, and it's really quite interesting. I am not a fan of melt and pour, but I do use it, and I wanted to make the soap from scratch, but I didn't want to actually then use it. I know. I wasn't inspired to come up with anything creative, but I did want to see if I could make the actual melt and pour soap, which turned out all in all pretty well. So you can see I am measuring out all of the ingredients. Now, this recipe I cannot share. If you are interested in the process, the tutorial will be for sale on Amy Warden's webpage. You can buy the tutorial after this challenge is over. It's well worth the money. I think this is actually a very good tutorial. It's taught very well and it is very interesting. So you can kind of see here I'm going through in fast motion this initial stage where I am making my base. Now, I knew mine was probably going to come out slightly yellow when it was all said and done because I did not buy extra virgin coconut oil. I used what I had. And I was okay with that. Like I said, I just wanted to see if I could actually make this work. And it did, and it worked on the first try, so I was very happy. There are a number of steps. Heat or controlling your heat and temperature is very important to making transparent soap. I also didn't use cocoa betaine, which was optional, but suggested if you have hard water. And I have hard water, but I just wasn't going to buy it for just this when I don't actually use it, and it didn't hurt the recipe to leave it out. However, that being said, it does not have a lot of lather in my soap. Very minimal, which I was kind of expecting. So if I were to make this in the future, I would definitely purchase the cocoa betaine and add that into the soap because I think it would help immensely with the lather. So you can see that I have been melting my sugar water, my oils. I had mixed my lye solution and added all the additives that we would need. And now I'm at the point where I am adding each one to the pot and whisking, doing a whole lot of whisking, trying to get my solution to build a froth, which it just never did. And I was just like, okay, it's been mixed really well, so I'm just going to go for it and hope that it worked. And it actually did. It was already starting to form that skin layer that you see when you make melt and pour soap. So I was pretty confident that it would work when I went to go pour it into the mold. You can see here I am pouring it in, and you can see it definitely has a yellow tint to it. That was fine. Once I poured it, I put it in the fridge for a couple hours, took it out, and this is a little over 2 hours later, and look what I have. I have a block of melt and pour transparent soap that is relatively clear even if it is slightly tinted yellow color. So that is the soap going about 3 inches thick, and that's about 2.5 inches thick. And you can't read the text, but you can definitely see through the soap. So next I cut the soap up into about 1-inch slices, and you can definitely see through. There were some drag marks from my cutter and knife, which prohibited some of the clarity, but all in all, I was pretty happy with what I ended up with. So yeah. And this was the part I was uninspired with. After we made our base, we then had to make a soap with it. And I just didn't have any ideas. Everything that I thought to do was just kind of basic. And yeah, I don't know. I was uninspired. So I had this Lorena Sweets set that I wanted to use with my soap dough to create some soaps with, and it just wasn't working. So I pulled it out and thought, well, maybe I'll try it with melt and pour. The melt and pour soap that I made cut very easily, and I thought that I'd be able to cookie cutter through it once I poured a base. And so I was like, let's try it. So you can see here that I've made some of the elements. Right now I am pouring the base. So I poured one layer that was, I added white and a tad bit of purple, and then on top of that I poured a clear layer. So you can see there are two distinct layers. The reason I did this is the top base I'm going to cookie out some of the elements for the ice cream truck, and then I was going to fill it in with some colored melt and pour, and so I wanted to be able to easily do that, and this allowed me to. I took the cookie cutter and you can see I just cut through the first layer, and then the second layer beneath it is all intact, and I'll be able to add some soap into that little cavity I just made. So that worked really well. You can see on the bottom right of the screen, this was my first attempt where I used a purple pink base and clear on top, and I did not like it. I didn't like it at all, so I went back and did the second version that you see. So I have cut out all the pieces that I need to, and now I am adding the embellishments I made earlier. So the wheels, the little awning overhang, the ice cream, and of course the word ice cream. Oh my word. This was a pain. It was an absolute pain to add these, and I don't recommend doing it. It's cute, but oh good lord, it was such a pain. So I will never ever do this again, as in make these ice cream trucks out of melt and pour. It was a pain. There are a lot of elements. They were not easy elements to make, but it was something different, and I was at least happy to do something different. Now, of course, I can't submit these in the competitive challenge because the soaps came out just under 3 ounces, which kind of sucks, but you know what? I did this even when I wasn't sure I really wanted to do this. I learned something new, so we're gonna call it a win. So you see I have one last element, which is I am filling in the windows of the ice cream truck with white, just to give it, I don't know, a little something. I think it finished it off and pulled it together nicely. And there you have it, 3 ice cream trucks made with my own melt and pour soap.